go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, seek the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Wynn and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones.
What the first INT to the house gonna look like? What?
We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. Got rings that go. Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, seek the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Wynn and the trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones. Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, seek the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Wynn and the trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones.
The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is only a few months from kicking off, but this year, let's do things a little different. Instead of just watching games at home or just going to a game, let's actually experience our Dallas Cowboys, just like West Coast does. Cowboys Experience is my one-stop shop for all my Cowboys game day weekends. Their packages are all inclusive, including 2 nights hotel accommodation. We'll pick you up and drop you off at the airport and game. Want to hang out and get autographs from current and former Cowboy greats like Drew Pearson? If you're ready to experience the Dallas Cowboys like no other, make sure you inbox West Coast or go to cowboysexperience.com today. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is...
Hey, what up, y'all? It's that time of the year again for our annual gala. On June 8th, we will be hosting our 2019 Diamonds and Pearls Gala down in Davie, Florida. You can purchase tickets or find out more information on 88blessings.org. On top of honoring our single moms, we will also be honoring Lori from Make Our School Safe. I hope to see you all there. Much love.
Hey, what's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, man, and we are live in the building, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, it's nothing about like having you a partner who understand you and y'all can vibe together, man. And man, let's go, man. Let's get this thing popping, man. It is your boy West Coast. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all I wasn't playing no more, man. I told y'all I was gonna go 10 years younger on y'all. Don't even recognize me, do you? I know you recognize Boss Cowboy, but you don't recognize West Coast, huh? But all right. Hey, it's your favorite two Cowboys. Like, for real. It's your favorite Cowboys. West Coast and Boss Cowboy. We live in the building, baby. All right. So, what up, Tony P? I see you, man. What up with you, Kerry? I see you. What up with you, Scott? What up with you, Sarah? How you doing? Hey, Mike Nugent. What up, man? Hey, you know what? That's the dude right there.
I've been hearing about you, Mike.
That's the dude. Hey, I'm telling you, when I first started blogging, right? I be on here for like a week and a half talking to myself. Then I got my wife's phone, you know what I'm saying, and then I would pretend like it would be another person. Then finally I got but it wasn't. It was really me watching myself. And then finally I got a second person that started watching my show, and it was the OG homie Mike Nugent. So salute to you, bro. I don't even drink, bro, but lightweight, I might lightweight buy you a drink, like for real, bro. I get emotional every time I see you. What up, man? Hey. Tony, what up with you? David, 803 from Columbia, South Carolina, checking in. Christopher Glover, what up, man? Kerry Teagle says, that's where you at. I locked up from I was locked up in Ford Stockton many years ago. It was hella hot. Okay, I got you, man. Hey, we all did a little thing in the past, but that's why we Dallas Cowboy fans, because, you know, this is probably one of the few fan bases where you don't got to be an angel to play here. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we actually like you having a little stank up under the ear. You know what I'm saying? That's Dallas Cowboys. We like, you know, America's team, you're going to have to punch on, you know, we don't want you punching on no bodies, but you may have to punch a little bit on that field every now and then. So we like it over here like that. Joe Trantrina, what up with you, man? Out there in Italy, man. What's up with you? Michael Lafferty, what up with you? So what up, everybody? And Leroy, what up, Leroy? I got a cousin named Leroy. Every time I see you post something on Facebook, I be thinking it's my cousin posting. And it is. It's my Cowboy cousin, my other cousin. So what up with you, man? All right, and then we got Boss Cowboy in the house. So we're going to have a special guest. We should be having a special guest that should be blurping up in here in about T-minus like 12 minutes. You know, it's OG Cowboys Jobu from the infamous Cowboys Jobu on Dallas Cowboy over there on YouTube. If you be on YouTube, if you didn't watch any Cowboy stuff, I know you didn't heard of Mark Holmes, so don't even try to play yourself. He going to be right here in the building in about 12 minutes. And we got some stuff we going to talk about that's it ain't going to purposely make him mad, but I know this. We know how much he loved Dak. That's all I'm going to say. So make sure y'all stay. But you know,
my boy Mark Holmes, boy, he turned red when he talked about that.
But you know, they all about giving him $30 million. So these guys to the left, they all in the $30 million. Call them the $30 million club. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we're gonna have Mark Holmes on here in about 11 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know, if he's on time, then he'll be on here. If not, then we'll get him on here soon enough. But hey, I appreciate everybody that's in the comments right now. Make sure you guys share. It definitely looks like the stream is going good. So since it is going good, look at that. We got Buddha up in here. He said that hoodie go hard, West Coast. You always have the dope gear. Hey man, you know what it is, baby. You know what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, give me a couple of years, I catch up, man. That dude was so stocked up on Cowboy gear is pathetic. And then my boy be having stuff that you just don't see. Like, I'm still waiting on you, just out of appreciation, to see you bought one of those jerseys, those basketball Cowboy jerseys. See, because when I rock it, I want to do something different. And then you would just pull up like...
Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you like this, man. I'm going to tell you like this. Everybody in their life need them a Miss Candace. I got me a Miss Candace. You know what I'm saying? Her name is Jasmine Jamerson, and she keep your boy fly. Right now, I'm going through this vintage, like, cowboy phase where I'm like, I really want it. If it's older, I really, really want it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm kind of going through that phase, and she really holding me down right now. And speaking of holding me down and being up under me, man, what's up with you, man? We got the infamous, hey, if you see this guy, you know that somebody on the offensive line that either did one or two things. They either did something really, really right or really, really wrong. What's up with you, Charles, man? We got the O-line captain in the house. What up with you, man?
Well, what's up, man? What's up, West Coast? Glad to be on the show.
Hey, I'm good. Hey, you know how when, like, Drake will be performing in the city and then he'll bring somebody else out and the crowd will go cry? Like, ah! Like, that's how it was, right? Like, we didn't even know. Like, they didn't, you know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't even know. OG Mark Holmes still coming up in the building, too. So he'll be up in here about...
That's what's up.
Hey, we low-key about to have light skin versus dark skin. Boom, bah. Y'all didn't catch that. But, I need to know, what is the status? Whenever we get Charles on here, the first question I'm always going to ask him is, what is the status of the offensive line, man? You are an offensive line. That is on your mind. You know, if you're a guy who's always thinking offensive line, so I need to know, what was the last thought that was on your mind for the offensive line? Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Yeah, very last thought in terms of the offensive line.
In any aspect. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I got you. I'm ready, man. So, look, anything that that will be unique to the offensive line this year will be, is Connor Williams going to actually get reps second string at either one of the tackles? Because what we saw in the OTAs before the team session is Connor Williams actually being the starter. Now, we know that, right now Tyron Smith is out because of OTAs, etc. But he actually, before they got the team, he was actually taking reps with the starters in this last OTA in Frisco at left tackle.
Oh, okay.
So that's not anything really, I think, at this point to be reporting on significantly. But it does show that Mark Colombo has faith in him because he did play left tackle at Texas, that he could possibly use him in an emergency situation. Those are my thoughts, because he did get reps in this last day of OTAs at left tackle.
Okay, now I love the fact that you think that's a contingency plan. So you gave me my contingency plan. That's a dope contingency plan. Why? Because it's using an asset that you already have, putting him at his strength. So I like that asset. But we kind of greedy over here on Dallas Cowboys Scouting. So I don't want to know about how that happens in a contingency plan. I want to know, can that plan? Is there a way that we can execute a plan like that and maybe move something around, move a person around, and maybe come up? You know what I'm saying? Because if it's a good contingency, maybe your plan B so good that maybe we should make the plan B the plan A. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, let's just be real talk. There's no way that Connor Williams is better than La'el Collins or Tyron Smith, even if they're like 70%, okay? So we're not doing that unless we really got somebody hurt. And I would probably say it would have to be 2 offensive linemen hurt before we put him out there as an emergency left tackle or a right tackle. But what I do see happening, and we talked about this before, based upon the health of Travis Frederick, which they upgraded him, okay? Yesterday, they upgraded Travis Frederick to light participation, okay? So before they got into the team reps, Travis Frederick was over there hiking the ball, taking some sets left and right, for about 20 or 30 minutes, and then they kind of got him out of there when they got into the team session, okay? But if his health is not up to par, you probably have a Joe Looney starting, and then you have him just bumping right back down where he was at left guard. Other than that, they also held out La'el Collins a little bit just because of the shoulder surgery that he recently had, and that's the whole reason why you had a change up on the starters a little bit in OTAs. But he'll be back in a month or so, and things will be in line as we see it. What I see as a possible situation is possibly, based upon what happens with La'el Collins, I possibly can see possibly a Connor, the number 90 pick, Connor McGovern. I can see him maybe swapping in or out based upon the health of Travis Frederick at guard or either center.
Man, okay.
I know I gave you a lot, West Coast. I know I gave you a lot, but I just wanted to put that on your mind.
Well, I mean, shoot. I was. Let me tell you something. And this is what all you guys should do. And let me tell you what I did. While you were talking, you know what I did? I grabbed a pen and I grabbed an envelope. Because you know how sometimes
West Coast.
Hey, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you know what you do? You write down points and then you come back. You know what I'm saying? And one of my points that I had is when I think Boss Cowboy I ain't gonna put him out there. I don't like throwing folks all the way up under the thing. But we in HD. So being in HD, I could see Boss Cowboy's his chin kind of elevate when he said what you said about Connor Williams and how you felt that he's not better. Yeah. Well, I want to, before I say anything, I want to kind of circle around and go back to that. So Boss Cowboy, what are your thoughts on that? I'm not saying you got to disagree, but I don't think you agree with that statement.
Well, I say it like this, because partially some of the things I heard kind of go against some of the thoughts of what and desires of the fan base and what we desire to see. Like, I'm one of those, especially when they put it out there that Connor Williams can play right tackle sometime in the future. I was like, let's see it now. But Charles, playing the position the way that he played the position, I also believe in listening to people who have a lot of experience at that position, because I never had to kick slide and do all of that kind of stuff. I just needed to keep my back up pretty, my hips smooth. That's what I had to do at my position. He kind of like a big chunky kind of guy. They kind of got some ugly kind of moves that he know more about than I do. But that was interesting when he said that even at his best, he only 70% of Leal Collins, and that raises a lot of questions in my mind. So let me hit you with one, Charles, just real quick.
Yes, sir.
Hey, before you hit your questions, let me say hi real quick to Terrell Burns. What's up? What you said? West Coast, say hi to me. What up with you, Terrell? How you doing? All right, let me hear something, boss.
Yeah. So my thing is, it's a lot of the Cowboy fan base, and it seems like it's been traditional for us to believe that it's really bad to move around offensive line. Okay. And with your thought, Charles, especially playing a position like you did for a long time, for a lot of years, I always had a thought that Cameron Fleming could potentially be your right tackle and then put Leal Collins back at left guard to get a better overall offensive line. Or like they doing now, play him at the left and right tackle to fill him out. If he seems to be a fish in water, and let's say your analysis is wrong and he's actually balling at the left and right tackle position, then that's the same thing to where you keep him at right tackle and then move Leal Collins to where he was more of a fish in water. You know, because a lot of the fan base really believe that and hate the thought of ever moving around some of our offensive linemen. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is what I say. There's a difference between being a college tackle and a pro tackle, okay? And I have nothing against Connor Williams, but I will say this. Before they got to the team session, Flemings was actually the starter, right, in the initials of warm-up sessions at right tackle, okay? So I don't think he's a bad player. But what I will say is this, is that from my analysis, and I went back and I looked at this, Connor Williams probably will be best inside. The reason why is because if you think about space, and I don't want to make this too complicated, but think about space.
Don't be complicated.
Well, no.
Hey, we have a rule here. Hey, Charles, we have a rule here, and this is that rule. What did Nipsey say? Nipsey said, this ain't that mumble rap. You know what I'm saying? They told Nipsey, dumb it down. He said, no, we ain't going to dumb it down over here, because this ain't that mumble rap that y'all looking for. You know what I'm saying? If they hear, they looking for something else, so don't dumb it down. You know what I'm saying? We'll just explain it, or we'll Google it as we go.
All right, so let's think about spatial dynamics, okay? Is it easier to keep a moving target in front of you when you have two pillars left and right? Or is it easier to keep a target in front of you if you have one pillar to the right and you have open space to the left or to the right? Let me answer the question for you. It's much easier when you have two pillars to your left and to your right, which is what Connor Williams has at the guard position, which at times this year he struggled. He struggled greatly against quick, attacking upfield, three B gap defenders. Okay,
KK short
and come off the ball quickly. Okay,
KK.
So my contention is this: if you put him at this stage, he gained weight. Okay, to be able to hold up against some of the stronger defensive tackles from that left guard position. If you put him out at tackle, you throw off his equilibrium, okay? Because unless he gets a lot of snaps in preseason, which we don't know yet, okay? If you put him in during preseason game number 1, preseason game number 2, okay, and he looks great, okay, great. I'll change my opinion. I'll come back on the show and say I'm wrong, okay? But right now, as it stands today, no way. Do not put him at tackle. No way. Because you're gonna put him against practice against a Robert Quinn, who the Cowboys just signed. That guy still runs a 4.5 40. Okay, he's about 2'6", he still runs a 4.5 40. It's no way. And I'll go back to a story. And Marcus, you're familiar with this story. I played against a guy that got drafted in the 3rd round. His name was Antoine Peak out of Cincinnati, okay? Which is the most similar player that I can think of in my mind to a Robert Quinn, okay? Antoine Peak was about 6'3", 260 pounds. He ran a 4.5 40, okay? When I had to play against him, I was terrified. You know who I had to practice against all week to get ready for him?
Who?
I had to practice against cornerbacks, backup cornerbacks, because that was the only way that I could simulate the speed that I would see with him rushing upfield at me, okay?
Yeah.
And by the way, I played very well. I didn't give up a sack. But what I'm telling you is this.
A little stunnage.
That's what he's going to see, man, and I don't see it right now. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, hey, real quick, man, shout out to Big James over there from Silver and Blue Nation. I see you, man, in the comments. What up with you, man? Hey, shout out to Michael Lefley says, I agree, very informative. James says, does Connor have good feet? He says, does Connor have good feet and athletic? Isn't that what a tackle position needs? I mean, my thing with Connor Williams is this, right? Connor Williams does not have the body structure right now of a tackle. He has the body structure of a guard. He has this offseason committed himself to being the best guard that he can be. So it's like that's kind of like the whole issue that I had with the offensive line, where it's like if you're gonna switch them, you can't do it like a corner and a safety. Be like, yo, a month before the season, yo, bro, you're gonna go play safety. Why? Why? Because you're slow. You're not saying the safeties are slow, but that's usually the conversation that happens. You know what I'm saying? All of us that play football know that's how it works. When a corner goes to safeties because you didn't slow down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So if you really wanted to switch Connor to tackle, you really should have started right after that Rams game. Because right after that Rams game, I think the number one thing that was coming out of this season, and everybody told me, West Coast, close your mouth, you don't know what you're talking about, you're not an offensive lineman, you ain't never played offensive line. But the first thing I said is about Connor Williams, and this is documented, against the North Carolina Panthers, I said he's going to give up 2 sacks. Why? Because of because of KK and the other kid that was going to be sitting right on top of him. You know what I'm saying? So, he needed to gain about 10 to 15 pounds. If you put these guys up against, if you put them up against each other, like if you put all the offensive line up against each other, Connor Williams looks more like Zach Martin, which is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think if for him to go to tackle, I see what you mean too, because my thing with La'el Collins, man, is, I think La'el Collins might just be that girl that got away, man. You know that girl in your life that you always think of, time out. I don't never think about nobody, but I'm just saying. Don't Aisha Curry me. but you know what I mean? Hey, if you marry, just blink. You know what I'm saying? You know that one that, she didn't get away, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, y'all.
I know what you
mean. One that got away. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I really wanted to make it work, but it really wasn't meant to be. You know what I'm saying? I think we're just always going to look at La'el Collins and be like, what he could have been, what he should have been, and what he's not going to be for us. You know what I'm saying? Because at $9.9 million, bro, and he was and I'm going to tell you the thing that was crazy about La'el Collins. La'el Collins is the only player I've ever seen that went in the media and said, yeah, I don't want to switch my position. And guess what the Dallas Cowboys did? They did not switch his position. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that says. I don't know what that says about it, but I just, in a perfect world, obviously I wouldn't mind seeing La'el Collins being back there at guard, but since I know it's not going to happen, I don't want to put Connor Williams back into another unknown. You know what I'm saying? Because he actually knows how to play more guard in the NFL than he knows how to play tackle now. So basically, you're starting him all over again. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really use he can use his techniques and stuff from college, but we all know there's a jump. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Cowboys are with Connor Williams, man. I think you kind of, I see where you're going, but I think right now on May 23rd, I think we kind of stuck where he's going to be at. You know what I'm saying?
So real quick, Jabari, I want you on record real quick. Am I dreaming to want to see Connor Williams play right tackle to move La'el Collins back to left guard? Is that a dream?
I'm down to do it.
You know what, Marcus? I'm not gonna say that it's a dream, but what I will tell you is that from what I saw with the OTAs and information I've gathered, I just think it's highly unlikely. And here's why, okay? You have La'el Collins, right? Who gets paid more, guard or tackles, right? And West Coast always makes the point, right?
Tackle, dude. Tackle like the third highest paid position in the NFL.
Right, exactly. Who did this to take a pay cut? So why in the world would La'el Collins willingly bump back inside and take a $4 to $5 million a year pay cut?
On standard.
Man,
to play guard, he's proven that he's he's a more than adequate right tackle. Why in the world would he do that?
Yeah, that move to tackle was
hold on real quick. Everybody got to hold on for this one real quick. Jabari, Charles, the consultant. I don't know what to call you yet, bro. I don't know your cowboy alias yet.
Just call me your coach, man. That's all you got to do.
I don't even know if I want to call you.
I don't think he want to call you a coach because I don't think he agree with you right now.
I don't want to call you a coach right now because you're kind of stomping on my Cheerio.
Hey, that's how I slip and call him Marcus on air sometimes because I be like, wait, I ain't about to call you Boss Cowboy after you said that. Nah, I can't do that.
So
can't do it, bro.
When in the world have a player ever decided where they gonna play, man?
And 2 years ago,
I want you to address that because that's kind of what you seem to be insinuating, my brother. Are you saying? I just want to make sure I'm hearing you that he's supposed to willingly move to guard, or is he supposed, or do they move him back to guard if that fit us?
Yeah, but how is his attitude?
The only way that he's going to move back to guard is if he plays bad at right tackle.
Yeah, because that's a demotion.
Which is not going to happen this year because he's on a contract year and he knows he's about to get paid.
Yep.
This is what I'm saying plainly. Okay, and back to when you said this, because this is a very, very important, broader topic, okay, West Coast, I think. Okay, when did players decide where they play? Look at players as an example in the NBA. And I know we're getting off football topic, but I'm saying this to prove a point. Where they decide to rally together and to go to a particular spot. And they speak up and they realize they have influence and power. Well, that is the shift in the way, to a small degree, that the NFL was going. Players are going to speak up for themselves. Players are not going to take you screwing them over, laying down, especially when it has to do with generational wealth and them taking care of their grandkids with a huge contract. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's why Dak Prescott came out and was like, I ain't doing it.
To make the move that's best for the team, I'm just confused.
But can I ask
the move that's best for the team isn't best for him.
Exactly. Hey, let me intervene real quick. But also, I'm gonna ask you this question: how does La'el Collins play pissed off? Because now moving him from tackle to guard, you've officially pissed him off. Now I know there are some players that play really, really good pissed off, but there are some players, and most players don't. So it's like you also messing with his psyche. So and like in the money thing, that was the whole reason why I felt that La'el Collins was like, no, I'm not gonna go to guard. Why? Because bro, we have the highest paid guard in the NFL right now. And he's the best guard in the NFL. And think of La'el. La'el Collins is thinking this. I'm not even the 7th best tackle in the NFL, but I get paid like him. So what? Like La'el would literally have to be the 2nd best guard in the NFL to get a contract like Zach Martin, but to get a contract like Tyron Smith or like these other tackles, because the contract is because that's so much value in it, bruh. He can be average. He can be a top 15 and still make just as much money as Zach Martin, and he knows it. Why? Because he's the 7th highest paid tackle in the NFL right now today on May 23rd, and he is not the 7th best.
Angry right now at everything.
And he is not the 7th best.
I want to totally change the subject, and I do have a question real quick, and it's real.
Shoot.
I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. Me and West Coast been talking about on this show the potential of Hyatt, right? Now, the concern of Hyatt was his 40. His foot speed, right? I don't play line, so I don't really know the accuracy of that statement. But from my research, what I've heard, Charles, consult.
Yeah, you're talking to Charles. I don't know. That's gonna be way too low.
That's why I wanted to ask him, because he on here. You know what I mean? He played the position. He was good. I want to hear from this coach guy. Okay, so coach. The guy ran a 5.2, and from my research, whenever a tackle runs over a 5.1, there's chances of success in the NFL greatly diminishes. I really want to hear your thoughts on the chances of him really becoming a great player in the NFL, or even a potential La'el Collins replacement. Is that realistic, or is that a dream based on his measurables and based on what you saw with him at Clemson?
Well, what I will tell you is it's more than a dream. It is something that could turn into a reality based upon his technique work, okay? And I'll use several tackles I've seen come into college and even the pros that had questionable foot quickness. But foot quickness is something you can drill, okay? And you don't got to run a 40 to play tackle. You got to be quick for about 3 to 5 yards. That's all we need, okay? We need 2 kicks in the ground, strong hands, a low base, and we need you to play ball. What I do love about Mike Hyatt is that he was a 4-year starter at Clemson. That says a lot, Okay, he has championship pedigree. He has a lot of game experience, and you never ever discount game experience. And if you look at the Alabama games that he played, okay, against NFL type players, he held up very well. Okay. He was not dominated in those games. He did not get run over in those games. So I think this is the issue of him coming into being a free agent pick, coming into a really a great team that has depth at offensive line to a degree already, and the hierarchy is veterans, draft picks, and free agents. So unfortunately for him, he's at the bottom of the totem pole. So we're going to see how many reps he can get. And when he does get his reps, he's going to have to act the donkey, as they say, and show him something to actually make this roster be on this team, if you get my honest opinion.
I mean, that's a good, but I mean, I'm going to tell you one thing about the Dallas Cowboys, and one thing I like about the Hyatt kid, you know what that also shows about him is that means that he has a very, very high mental aptitude, and he is used to being in the doghouse and being counted out and rising to the occasion. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, you know who that sounds like? That sounds like your freaking quarterback. And we're actually going to talk about him a little bit more right after this commercial break. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is only a few months from kicking off. But this year, let's do things a little different. Instead of just watching games at home or just going to a game, let's actually experience our Dallas Cowboys, just like West Coast does. Cowboys Experience is my one-stop shop for all my Cowboys game day weekends. Their packages are all inclusive, including 2 nights hotel accommodation. We'll pick you up and drop you off at the airport and game. Want to hang out and get autographs from current and former Cowboy greats like Drew Pearson? If you're ready to experience the Dallas Cowboys like no other, make sure you inbox West Coast or go to cowboysexperience.com today. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is...
Hey, what up, y'all? It's that time of the year again for our annual gala. On June 8th, we will be hosting our 2019 Diamonds and Pearls Gala down in Davie, Florida. You can purchase tickets or find out more information on 88blessings.org. On top of honoring our single moms, we will also be honoring Lori from Make Our School Safe. I hope to see you all there. Much love.
What's up with you guys? So we right back, man. So I know we had 3, but I'm gonna tell you guys, anytime there is an apocalypse, there's always a 4th horseman. And this one, y'all know who it is, man. Right below me, man. We got the OG, triple OG, triple OG, triple OG.
It's coming to an end.
What's up with you, OG? How you doing today, man?
Yeah, and he's on here live right now too. Hey,
I'm going to get him whenever I fight for
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Forgive me. My son was actually talking to me, but I've got a new fan out there, if you want to call him that, Lord Brunson, an Eagle fan out there who was kind of did a video about me. I haven't actually had a chance to see the video and stuff, but I see it's going to be a fun season with those guys. So where we stand, I'm sorry, I'm just getting in, just finished eating dinner and everything else, and jumping on the channel, so don't let me be the 4th wheel.
Oh shoot! To be honest with you, we were actually we were coming back in from a commercial break, and I told him we were going to be talking about Dak Prescott, man. And we'll be talking about Dak Prescott money. I know there's this huge narrative it kind of feels like there's this narrative right now that it almost seems like it's trying to divide the nation and try to make people decide, do you feel Dak Prescott deserves the money? Do you think he's earned the money? And I think here, since we have this platform, I think, between the four of us, I think we'd be able to speak on that to see, what are our thoughts on that? If we believe that Dak Prescott deserved the money, what do you believe he should get? And what are your thoughts on this narrative that's been being played through every Dallas Cowboy fan group. Shout out to Oates out there too. That's the only group I'm in, man. You know what it is, man. What time it is. Hey, and shout out to DC4L too. I got love for y'all. But OG, you OG on the show. So man, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts?
Here's my thing. Now let's think about this now. We, having the Dallas Cowboys, having the biggest fan base in the world, because it's incredible, because I did an interview last week, guy in South America, huge fan base that's in there, England, Germany, throughout the world. Because we're so big, we got a little bit of everything in our fan base. And when you think about it, we always say the 80%. There's the 80% out there, it doesn't matter who's on the team, they don't like him. You could go through and say, Tyron Smith, man, he stays injured too much, we need to get rid of him. Oh, Zach Martin, he wanted too much money. Get rid of him. Travis Freddy, he had that syndrome. Get rid of him. Connor Williams, not strong enough. Get rid of him. Zeke Elliott's always in trouble. Get rid of him. You literally would go through, and just about every player of the Dallas Cowboys, they would say, get rid of him and get somebody else. We wouldn't be able to field a team if we listened to the fans. And the same people that are now saying, oh, man, don't be paying Dak Prescott, was the same ones that are defending Tony Romo, who before that was saying get rid of Tony Romo. So you're dealing with some people, no matter what happens, they're not going to be satisfied.
Yes, so true.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. The fact that we started out 3-5, our season looked like crap, okay? And we turned it around. We ended up winning 8 of the last 10 games, okay? Dak Prescott started throwing 60-some yards more, 20 QBR points higher the second half of the season, okay? Everybody started getting together. We're a young team. You're building everything else. And you would think that we were the Cleveland Browns before they were the Super Bowl contenders this year. So it doesn't matter. They could turn around and pay him $20 million, so people would still say he's overpaid.
Yeah. And
they're gonna look for a reason to say he's not worth it. I mean, honestly, you look at some of these comments you see from these people that that are misinformed. They say that he's just a game manager. I tell you what, if he just manages to win games, I'm okay with that. You can call him whatever the hell you want to, as long as we're winning, which is something we have done. Second most victories in the NFL with him at quarterback. He's doing something right. He's got these guys believing in him, and what I can't wait to see is him and Randall Cobb. There seems to be like this love fest, and it's the same thing that you got with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper went from a guy who looked like he checked out to being all in with Dak Prescott. There's something about that guy that says winner, and people follow behind. So to me, I look at Kirk Cousins and those guys and everything else, and what they have or don't have, he's got to be paid more than Kirk Cousins.
He does.
Sorry. There's no way in the world, because everybody keeps, pay him 26 or 27. Why are you going to pay him less than a Jimmy Garoppolo who got paid off of 8 games? Where he really only played well in New England, where everybody plays well under Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, a guy he's beaten 4 times out of 4, okay, doesn't turn over the ball in the end to lose games like Kirk Cousins does. How do you justify saying you're going to pay him less than that? And with the Dallas Cowboys in the position that they are as opposed to other teams, next year the Dallas Cowboys have bigger cap space than anybody else. You keep hearing about these talking heads that say, if he gets paid, then he's going to hamstring the team. Well, didn't Aaron Rodgers hamstring that team that has a whole lot more holes than we do?
Yeah.
Didn't Russell Wilson really hamstring that team that has a lot of holes and a lot of people to replace on that team?
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the question I posed on my first show earlier today, and I was like, because people say, Russell Wilson is elite. They say, this quarterback is elite. This thing is elite. And I'm thinking, like, to be honest with you, in my opinion, and I want to kind of talk, Charles, I'm going to let you kind of think about this. Like, being elite, in my opinion, is not something that you just get adorned with. Because, let's be real, Aaron Rodgers has not been the most elite quarterback over the last 3 years. For one, he hasn't even been available. Go ahead.
Or even staying healthy.
Exactly. I would say that for one, he hasn't even been available like that, over the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And then my thing is elite equated to what you personally do in the NFL, your personal stats, or is elite based on how you are, as a team? Because if that's the case, then all them folks that say they don't like Phillip Rivers need to go look at his stats, because he's elite. His team was just trash. You know what I'm saying? So that's but then you have Dak on the other hand who has it. So, you know, and my thing is this, Charles. People know me, right? They know I'm well documented. You know, through each week we looked at film each and every week. So I'm not gonna rag on people and say they don't have too much reason not to hate on or not hate on Dak. But I'm gonna ask you a question, Charles. Do you think that it's wrong for people to not even be able to see some type of to not be at least excited on what you think he could do?
I think that, you know, when Dak has had tools, I think that he's played near elite, okay? When you gave him Amari Cooper, his averages and touchdowns and everything else went up dramatically, all right? If you give him receiver by committee like they did the first 8 games, I think that that's going to be a huge issue. So I think the quarterback represents so many things because really they're the face of your franchise, okay? So does he have personal leadership? Is he consistent? Okay, how is his performance? Okay, and so as far as I'm concerned, Dak Prescott checks all of those boxes, right? When they asked him about his contract a few days ago, you know, just in a quick interview, he said, "Hey, you know, I'm more concerned about developing as a leader, becoming a better leader." Okay, and that's what I want to hear from your star. Okay, the star of the star, your quarterback. All right. His contract details are going to get worked out. He's going to get paid $30+ million a year from all indications and everything that I'm hearing out here. And, I mean, the deal is this. If he's surrounded with weapons, he's good. His resume is not long enough to call him elite, okay? It's not. But I do think that Dak Prescott is a very good quarterback. He's above average. He's not below average. He's not a scrub by any stretch of the imagination.
And he's not above.
He's not above, not at all.
Yeah. So I mean, so now that we've kind of got that now, Boss Cowboy, I know back about 4 months ago, man, you started taking bets on how much you felt Dak was going to be getting, and this is before a lot of people was putting it. I'm just saying, man, and I co-signed on some of them bets too. So when we get to Dallas, make sure you sign a little. You know, I like Benny Hannes too. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I need to know, man. You know, Boss Cowboy, what are your thoughts, man? What is the, because it's crazy how all of a sudden the number 30 has been thrown out there, and it's almost like 30 million is like the new 20 million or something. You know what I'm saying? It almost feels like they're trying to like dummy it down a little bit. But why is it that I hear Dak with 30? Then the Eagles, they got the audacity, and OG Mark Holmes, I'm coming right back to you because you said you have an Eagles fan. I need you to ask your Eagles fan, how dare they offer a dude who ain't even finished the season $30 million? So get ready for that because I'm coming right before that. But before I get to you, I need to know, Boss Cowboy, what's up with the 30 piece, man? You trying to Curry us, man? You trying to hit us with the 30, man? Come on, man.
Hey, man, West Coast, if it's okay, bro, can I audible it back to Mark Holmes real quick?
Oh, man.
I'm always on the show, man. So me and you, West Coast, we going to do this forever. I want to kind of just be the wingman a little bit to these new guys. I especially want to hear what Mark Holmes thinks because, you know, I saw him turn red so many times on this issue. And my thing is this. All over the national media, and I'm gonna answer your question, West Coast, but I really do want to pump this to Mark real quick.
Oh yeah, just Mark, you know you got that next one too.
Media, bro, that's all they talk about is does Dak deserve 30, but you never hear about Glass Man Wentz and does he deserve 30?
Oh, he getting 30 though. He getting 30. He getting 30.
And if anybody should be questioned, it should be the injury-prone second overall pick. Not the guy who never missed the game. So I just want to kind of punt it, because I'm going to be here with y'all today, West Coast. I want to punt it real quick. Go, Mark, go.
OG, what's up? Give me some, OG.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I've been saying 30 for the longest time. Okay? For me, in my mind, what I told you was there's no way in the world you can pay him less than Kirk Cousins, a guy who does not have playoff wins, a guy who always has the Tony Ono late in games and stuff. I've seen it many times in Washington. He's up by 7, a score. Down there in the goal line, okay, throws an interception. We drive the length of the field, and Alfred Morris ends up running into the end zone and beating them. They have turned over so many games where they should have won, but the quarterback ends up being the guy to lose it, and that's Kirk Cousins. He gets lots of numbers. I'll give you that. He's a stat guy. But there's no way in the world that you can look at me and say, okay, you've won 2 division championships in the last 3 years. We're going to pay you less than Kirk Cousins, who hasn't won jack ever. You can't pay him less than that 28. Now, I'll give you Matty Ice at 30. But you can also look at Matty Ice saying, they choked that game away too. And that's where I don't think you pay him Aaron Rodgers money. I don't think you pay him Russell Wilson money. And I don't think that Dak is looking to be the highest paid quarterback. I think he realizes, and somebody said to me that Dak would work for peanuts if it meant trading it for a Super Bowl. Because that's the kind of guy that he is. He's not a selfish type guy. He's one who wants to get paid and should get paid. And the NFLPA doesn't want him to take a $20 million deal anyway, because their whole goal is to keep moving the money up. So you don't want to go through and take a cheap deal just because, we're going to reset the market. But you got to look at $30 million as that market in there. And here's the thing that everybody keeps saying that, well, if you pay him that, then it's going to hamstring us. Well, you think Philip Rivers is going to take about $15 million when he gets his redone this year? He's going to look to get paid. Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, those guys are going to look to get paid. So now all of a sudden everybody is in the $30 million range anyway. So if everybody is in that range, even the Washington Redskins right now today are spending $30 million on quarterbacks. If everybody is in that group, then it's not a disadvantage. And that's where we are. And paying him $30 million right now, 3 years from now, is going to look like peanuts, because you're going to see $40 million quarterbacks.
Yeah, and if you look at Pat Mahomes, man, if he's able to do what he did again, he's going to wreck the market. And if you think about it like this, if I'm thinking who should be the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, you're thinking Tom Brady, Breeze, who'd be number 3?
Aaron. Can I give you? I did some research yesterday.
Mahomes.
Exactly. My point is, the people who deserve to be at the top aren't at the top, because freaking Russell Wilson, as much as we love him as a quarterback and his comeback story, he does not deserve to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. But guess what? He's the most important player to his franchise. So it's not always about, sometimes that contract just puts it out there. And this is something that's going to happen with the Dallas Cowboys. For the next 4 years, everybody that gets a contract is almost going to be the highest paid. Zach Martin, highest paid guard. Tyron Smith, highest paid this and this. Dak Prescott's going to be the highest paid quarterback, the highest paid.
Actually, but hold on. But see, here's the thing, and that's where the Cowboys are. The advantage for them would be is to make a long-term deal. Actually, you look at Tyron Smith's deal. When he signed at the time, it was $96 million.
Yeah, but he was the highest paid. He was the highest Dallas player, though.
Number is actually going down, and part of the reason why his cap number was so high is because we ended up restructuring it twice, using it as a piggy bank.
Exactly.
So we deferred more money. That's why it was $17 million last year. It wasn't designed to be that high, but I think next year it's only $11 million hit. So his numbers are coming down. So that's where you look at it now. Today's numbers, yeah, that's a whole lot of money. But 2-3 years from now, it's not. But here's something that was interesting, because we always talk about my quarterback, and I'm a Dak defender and things like that. Can we say that there was 2 seasons for Dak Prescott last year?
It was a 10-2 series.
Before Amari Cooper and after, once he finally had to come out with them,
No doubt.
numbers were totally different. He went from averaging 208 yards for the first 8 games to averaging 278. If you take everybody's last 8 games of the season, Dak Prescott ended up having 2,224 yards, 12 TDs, 3 interceptions, and a 102 QBR.
With no offseason.
Right, with Amari Cooper. You know who that's almost identical with?
Brady.
Exactly, except he's got 75 yards more than Brady and 5 higher QBR than Tom Brady. 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and the yardage per completion identical.
And you know what's sad, Mark Holmes?
What's that?
People gonna be mad at you for saying that.
Oh my God! Here's the thing.
How dare you compare his numbers to Tom Brady?
But here's the thing. No, they said, oh, you can't count that because you have to count the whole season. I'm just saying, look, this is where they ended, with having the offensive line and flex and stuff like that. The last 8 games of the season, because his numbers, Jared Goff, 10 points higher at QBR, right? Goff had 2 more touchdowns, but he also had 5 more interceptions. You looked at Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz couldn't even finish the last 3 games of the season. More yardage, same QBR. Big Ben only had 300 yards more passing than Dak did, same QBR. So as you go through, and if you say there was a difference because we actually had wide receivers and Amari Cooper who made everybody else better, you look at those numbers, all of these guys are getting paid big bucks. He's right there. And here's what's amazing. Russell Wilson only had 1,657 yards, 107 QBR, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the last half of the season. Dak Prescott threw for 500 yards more than Russell Wilson did. And here's another statistic that's kind of amazing, too. Would you believe that the Cowboys were only 10th in running? Because everybody always says, well, without Zeke Elliott, you have no offense. The New England Patriots ran for 150 yards more on the ground than the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep, and Seattle was number 1.
Right. So all of these things make a difference, but the perception is that Tom Brady is lighting it up all over the place and everything else on the field. But his numbers are identical to Dak Prescott. It's situation. And also, too, Russell Wilson is looked at differently because he went to won the Super Bowl and went to that other Super Bowl. But you had the number 1 defense that was also number 1 at taking the ball away. That is a major upgrade. See, I see this. I got this guy called Joe fucking Buck. Who's saying stop reaching. How is that reaching? Anytime you put out numbers, because people always find another way, oh, you're manipulating the statistics.
I told you they was going to get mad at you.
Well, no, but you gotta see it like, you gotta,
I love it.
but Mark, let me show you, let me tell you guys, but you guys gotta remember, with Dak Prescott, a lot of people's general ideal of what a quarterback is being changed right now. So it's like you have some people who are able to take that pill a little bit quicker than others. If you guys have been a loyal supporter of West Coast and Dallas Cowboys scouting, you guys will actually see when I took my pill and started gravitating. Why? It's when I saw on the field that the play was getting better. Now, I'm gonna tell you what with the 2 people. There's 2 types of people. There are 2 types of people. There are some people that just wanted Dak to get better. I don't care how he gets better. If he has to change his arm and throw with the left arm, throw it with the left arm. I don't care. Just get better. Then you have people who are like, I want Dak. You have people that are like, Dak got better, but he only got better because of Amari Cooper. And then they use that against him. You know what I'm saying? Where at the end of the day, the question of the matter is this. Did it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, after we won that game, did it matter? You know what I'm saying? And and I even had to kind of check myself on it a little bit because, you have other quarterbacks. You can't be like Dak Prescott can't succeed. He can't succeed without a number 1 wide receiver. And then everybody else got a wide receiver, a number 1 wide receiver. And that's succeeding. And he's competing against those guys. So my thing is this: if you want him to compete against the Bradys, against the Breezes, and all, that's where I'm at. I'm okay with paying Dak $30 million because I'm like, he need to play like everybody else that plays like $30 million. And to be honest with you, if he plays like he did the last 8 games of the season, I think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to be fine because you're not going to care because we'll be winning games. In 2016, nobody cared how we was winning them games, bruh. Nobody cared. You didn't care. You just cared about winning and can you be consistently. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's something else that I want to kind of talk about. Boss Cowboy, man, you wrote a really good article, and it was about Kellen Moore and about this offense and what do we think we'll be able to do with Kellen Moore and just with this offense. We got 4 on the panel right now. I just want to go through. We're gonna start with Charles, and then we'll go to Boss Cowboy. We'll go Charles, and then OG, and then Boss. We'll go last since we always here. So Charles, I'm gonna give it to you first.
Let my guys go. They back chilling today.
Yeah, but we gotta work today. We got 4 tires on the car. We all gotta turn. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's 4 tires on the car. We all gotta turn. You know what I'm saying? If we trying to go somewhere.
Okay.
But so this is what I need to know, Charles. What is one thing that you want to see Kellen Moore in this offense? Be it what he do differently with Dak. What is something that you want to see Kellen Moore add to this offense?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you 1 and 1A. I think that Kellen Moore needs to utilize the spread formation in order to utilize some of the speed that he has, and also to use those tight ends in multiple sets that he has. I also like to see him use motion. You know, when they used motion, they were very effective on play action pass and also hitting the slot receiver with the quick corner routes and out routes and in routes. So those are the type of just little wrinkles that he can really incorporate. And then one thing I like to say, you know, the Cowboys really like speed, right? So, like, even if we look, and this is something I want to hit on that goes to your point, even if we look at their rookie free agents, right? If you look at, like, Jalen Gunter, right? He's a 4-3 guy, right? If you look even at Chris Westry, he's a cornerback out of Kentucky, right? He's a 4-3 guy, right? If you look at Javay Johnson out of Toledo, he's a 4-3 guy. So if you get some of these rookies that have a chance to contribute and stretch the defense, that opens up the underneath routes, that opens up the run game, that opens up the rollout pass that Dak really loves. He's really great on run pass options. Those are the things that you need to accentuate to really make the offense explosive.
Man, I heard that, man. So, I mean, I absolutely love that. Is anybody, before we go to OG Mark Holmes, does anybody want to touch on that real quick? Like, can I get one volunteer?
No, I'm punting, man. I'm punting all day. I'm letting this guy have it until it's my turn.
All right, for sure. So, OG, so I like that. I wrote that down. More motion. I'm going to be honest with you, man. If you're not motioning more, you're basically telling the defense there's a 50-50 chance that I'm going left or right. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, I need to put some confusion. There's too much film on the Dallas Cowboys. There's too much film that these guys have. Like, think about this. They're getting film on the sidelines. While they're in the game, they're watching film. That's why I laugh at people that say, "Oh, I don't need film. I can just watch it one." They're watching film while they're in the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's crazy to me, right? So, you know, motion gives you it throws that sway back and forth, gives them more. So I absolutely love that. So OG, same question, man. OG, what is your thoughts, man? What is something that you want an attitude or something that you want Kellen Moore to bring to this offense?
Play action, okay?
Okay.
About 4 years ago, we were running play action about 21% of the time, which was, at the time, more than anybody else. We kind of got stuck on stupid there. Now you're seeing teams running 25, 30% of their plays out of play action. Because here's the thing. Scott Linehan was like the Stone Age as far as our offense went. You know, basically, down and distance, you could pretty much predict what the Dallas Cowboys were going to do. And in their mind, we're just going to be better. And that worked during the 90s. Okay, because we were just bigger, stronger. We just dared you. Look, we're running the ball right here, and we dare you to stop it. Okay, that doesn't work now. You got defensive linemen that are faster than everybody else. In fact, you know, they're running 4.6s, 4.7s, and things like that. They can run these things down, and you have to get yourself an advantage by having them hesitate. Okay, if you know we were going to run, I put the safety in the box all day. And with the lack of tight ends that we had in the first part of the season, you knew we weren't throwing to our guys. We were you got 11 or 12 personnel. We're running. Play action will get them second guessing. You fake the dive. You get all the motion and stuff going to the left. You get Dak Prescott rolling on the outside. Now you put the cornerback on an island. Either I have to come up to the quarterback and try and get him, stop him from running, and leave my guy open, in which case Dak just lobs it right over. Guy's wide open one-on-one. Or he sticks with this guy, Dak runs. But what that does, it's not just what you do on that one play. It's setting them up because they see this and they see that flow. Oh, is it going to be a play action or is it going to be a run? What do I do? Think back to when RG3 had his rookie year. I remember seeing DeMarcus Ware, one of the best defensive ends ever in football, stand there stuck on stupid because he didn't know what to do. Literally, he didn't know if I should try and get the quarterback, if I should try and go in. He just was literally just stopped because that's what play action does for you, and we just did not do enough of it. You know, you don't want to have your quarterback doing a lot of running because they will get lit up, but you've got to have the appearance of mystery, of what's coming at me. And you can't be predictable. And, of course, motion and different sets. And that's one of the things that I liked hearing from Dak was, you know, we may not be doing a lot more plays, but we'll be doing it out of different formations and different sets. But I have a feeling that this offense is going to open up a lot more under Moore. I really believe that. Having the personnel that we have wide receivers that are used to catching the ball, like Randall Cobb and Amari Cooper and things like that, that there's going to be more of a trust factor than having like the body catcher Terrence, Williams out there, who a lot of times that ball's bouncing up and it ends up being a pick six. That comfort level with that play action and stuff, I think will open things up, and that's where I think it will be key for the offense.
Man, that's a phenomenal point. I mean, one thing I know that's also going to help that has to be going to get that play action is, man, you got to win on first down. If y'all remember, I'm gonna tell you, Mark, my OG, that's such a compliment, because just to solidify your point, think about this. Y'all remember Dak rookie year? Y'all remember the preseason game? What was the first play they did every single game? Play action pass to Schwam. Not the Swami, but the boy that didn't come back last year.
Yeah.
Even his very first play as a pro, the very first play of his career as a pro is that exact same play. And I'm gonna tell you, I know it is crazy. Dak kind of almost kind of frustrates you at times, because I'm gonna be honest with you, the play action makes him feel comfortable. That gets him comfortable. But at the same time, I have people saying, well, we don't want him running more. Did y'all see that Jacksonville Jaguar game? Listen to this power stat. Before I go to you, Boss Cowboy. The Dallas Cowboys are 5-0. I said this on my video. We're 5-0 when Dak Prescott rushes the ball. And this is not even set runs, because they rarely, under Scott Linehan, he rarely called set runs. You know what I'm saying? It was usually broken plays. You know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? But Boss Cowboy, before I speak on mine and give mine away, Boss Cowboy, what are your thoughts, man? What is something that you want or not even want, or something that Scott Linehan has to bring to this offense?
Yeah, and you pointed to me real smooth on the article, because it really is a passion of mine to want to see what my article addressed. And Mark Holmes, I know you have a real big voice on social media, especially on YouTube. I'm going to need your help on this one. I need OG. I'm not lying. I'm dead serious. I'm going to need you to check out the article, see if you first say amen to it. But if you say amen, spread the word with it. Because my passion of what I want to see is that we all know that we need more creative play calling. We know that, right? We all know that we need to change it up a bit. We all hated to see Jordan Lewis in, because we knew when he was in on offense, it was just sweep. It was just embarrassing, But the thing that's also kind of suddenly sitting under the table that I addressed in my article, okay? And it's the first article up there, Mark Holmes. Please check it out and spread it for me.
All right.
Okay.
I'll get that link from that.
Okay, yeah. It's under www.bosscowboy.com. So easy to remember. My name, www.bosscowboy.com. But what most people don't see, Mark Holmes, Charles, obviously West Coast, we talked about this about 2 days ago, is the amount of snap counts for our best athletes. It's way under the league norm.
Oh, yeah.
So most people don't even see it, because I had to actually dig real deep to find it myself. That Cooper, he went for 725 yards in 8 games, but it's even better because he did it with only having 80% of snaps. Where if you don't compare 80% of snaps to anything else, you won't know how great that is. Well, compare him to Hopkins. Compare him to, especially week 16 receivers. You won't see any quality receivers, even number ones and number twos, that's not in the game in the 80 percentiles altogether. So your best weapons with your better offense is what? Stay on the field. So it's like, I don't even think we have to really change too much at all. I think it's one of those things that where it's almost impossible not to be better than Scott Linehan. But to even be exponentially better than Scott Linehan, copy what everybody else is doing, and that's basically keeping their most dangerous people on the field together. Because the best game that Cooper, Dak, and Zeke had together was the one game that Cooper was in 90% of snaps, and that was the second Philly game. And that's where Cooper went for over 200, Dak threw for over 400, and Zeke ran for over 100, and that was really all because he was on the field. So the one thing I want to see, West Coast, I do not want to see Witten on the field 98% of the time like he used to be. I do not want to see that. I want to see Cooper on the field 98% of the time. That's who I want to see. I'm okay if Witten is on the field, maybe 80%, maybe even 90%. But to focus your offense all around a guy that's 36 and then put the guy that's your most scariest on the outside at 80% is just not efficient. So that's one thing I would want to see. And I'm going to go ahead and take two since I waited the longest. Another thing that I want to see is I want to see us actually go more horizontal in the red zone, because I saw that's what fixed the Texans. The Texans was just like us. They was moving between the 20s beautifully. They was very efficient. Everything looked good for them. They made one key change with Watson, and then they became really good in the red zone where they was poor. What they did is they moved the pocket a lot with Watson, and I might need your help with this, Charles, because I know you break down offenses really well. But they was moving the pocket with Watson, and instead of trying to have the guys create space with only limited yardage in the red zone, they was running horizontally, and they was just basically waiting on somebody to get open, and they was just taking advantage of using speed to go horizontal because you run out of space in the red zone, so they use the space horizontally versus vertically. So I would want us to see us do stuff like that a little bit more too.
Okay, so that's three right there. Let me give you mine. Let me give y'all my one of my things that I want to see Kellen Moore bring to this offense, man. And shout out, because I think that's a super chat. So shout out to whoever just did that over there on OG channel. But one thing that I need to see from Kellen Moore is I need Kellen Moore to actually listen to the quarterback, right? Because when we was like 2 and 4. You don't think Dak Prescott walked up to Scott Linehan and was like, bruh, let me holler at you real quick. This ain't working. You know what I'm saying? It's not working, bruh. You don't think that somebody had a conversation or somebody said something? It's like, you know what I mean? You like I'm mad that Jason Garrett didn't say something, because you would think he's the head coach. He would be the first one to intervene. But when Cooper said what he said in that Philly game to Dak, and he told Dak, they're sitting on the dang hooks, and Dak told him, no, just go run the play, and then Dak changed it because he knew he had to. That let me know that in Dallas the communication sucks. Yep. When your quarterback can obviously see that a play is not working, and a star player who is, because Coop had already had a big game before that. Yeah. When your star player doesn't feel comfortable with changing the play, bro, we got a problem.
You got a problem.
Because that lets me know we're trying to win your way and not by any means necessary. What you mean, bro? It's 16 games. Sometimes Alabama said you just gonna win with 3 field goals. But guess what? We'll do it, and we'll take it, and we'll be proud of it. Like, if this was the NBA, then I say, okay, we should be blowing them out by 10. You got 82 opportunities, 84 opportunities. That's the NFL. That's what I'm saying. I want Kellen Moore to be, and Dak Prescott to not be on sync, but I want them to, not even they're going to be on sync, but I want there to be trust there. When Dak sees something, I want him to be able to go up to Kellen Moore and be like, this dude, I'm just saying, this dude, every time that this person does this way, he does this. And I want Kellen Moore to instantly start thinking, let me design something off that. Screw what I was trying to do, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of times, like in that Atlanta game, you see an offensive coordinator trying to get his point across. We going to win just like in Seattle. We going to win with Russell Wilson throwing a touchdown. Well, the football guy said, well, guess what? You should have handed it to Marshawn Lynch. Go take that one ring and sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's called honest football. Honest football is the best man wins, no freaking politics. That's what I want to see. I want Dak to be able to trust his offensive coordinator, and for even his offensive coordinator to walk up to Dak and be like, I see this. We're going to do this. And we have, you know what they call in chat groups, whenever it gets crazy, they start talking crazy. I put this in the chat group. I say, we about to have an abrupt subject change. That means we about to stop talking about what we about to do, and we about to turn a 180. In football games, you can practice 6 days. Get in that game, and your game plan go to crap. I need my offensive coordinator to have the balls to be like, Dak, it ain't working. We kill it. And I wrote that down on my paper. 3 words. I want my offensive coordinator and Dak to be on sync, that they can trust each other and be like, you know how we worked on that all week? Yeah, it didn't work. So let's leave that alone. Let's go do something else. What do you see, Dak? Hey, well, because the game is happening right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
The game is happening right now. Go ahead, man. I know everybody got some extra points out there, man. Who got an extra point? Go ahead and throw some out there. I'll let you rock for a little bit.
Yeah, so to your point, West Coast, what I was going to say is that, you know, in the heyday of the Seattle runs, when they were contending and going to the Super Bowl, they were the best at halftime adjustments. The Patriots are, I would say, still the best team at halftime adjustments, right? They're good at seeing what you did well, what worked well, what didn't work, and coming out the second half and basically controlling the game, right? And the Dallas Cowboys have the pieces. They have the pieces to control any game they want if they utilize those pieces in the appropriate way.
Right.
Absolutely. Let me hear some, OG.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the things you look back, you know, how many times we've gone through and we've done, you know, played gangbanger busters in the first half, and the second half the other team comes out and we just lose it. And halftime adjustments and things were definitely a problem. But that's the thing that convinced Michael Irvin that Kellen Moore was actually good, because Zeke Elliott basically said, you know, he listens to us and takes input from us. We know after that Eagles game that Amari Cooper, after having the game of his life there, literally saving our season, got 3 targets that next week.
Yep.
Because in Linehan's doghouse. Regardless, and it reminded me of when I played football, you know, we had a JV game, and I got 2 sacks. Okay, as a nose tackle, okay? Because I went ahead, I shot the gap, boom. I was literally in the quarterback's hip pocket as he was going back to set up. And I come off the field, and the coach lights into me, and I'm like, I got a sack. He's like, I don't give up. Brad's asked what you did. Yeah, you forced the 4th down, they had to punt, but you didn't do what was called. But I'm like, I got the sack. We stopped him.
I had a coach, my coach Peters like that.
And that's exactly what Scott Linehan did with Amari Cooper, because you can see Amari Cooper's body language the next week was like, fuck this. Excuse my language. But literally, that's how Scott Linehan, if you are not going along with the program, you're in my doghouse, and the hell with it. And that's why Dak was like, look, just run what was called, because he didn't want to get the shit.
There you go.
And it also makes you wonder, too, is, did they want to get rid of that guy? Because it's like, you know, it just doesn't work. Somebody's getting out of here.
Mark, and I'm sorry, I hate to jump in here, but I got to, because now you're getting into the nitty-gritty, Mark. Now you're getting into the politics and the nuances and everybody wanting their credibility to prove they're right versus the team winning. And boy, Marcus, and Boss Cowboy can talk about this all day long. We saw this a whole lot in college. We saw this a whole lot in college.
But people don't think this actually happens, man. Like, people
my God, it happens.
in the dream world, they think it's like that there's no politics in football and that the best man is going to automatically always win. No, there are competing factors. Sometimes you, like what Charles said that I love the most, is you had Scott Linehan trying to prove that he was right about committee more than just go ahead and acknowledge he was wrong and giving his best guys the snaps. You know
what that also lets me know? That he wasn't really listening nor paying attention to his quarterback. Because had he would have been listening and paying attention to his quarterback, he would have saw that his quarterback is not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say, like, you know, obviously, whatever, you know, you don't want to look at the gifted house, and what they say, don't look at the gift horse in the mouth or something like that. So I'm happy we got Amari Cooper. But why we couldn't get him week 4? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know. That brings back, you know,
why we gotta wait till week 8?
But the thing about the Dallas Cowboys that has always bugged me about Jason Garrett is that when he always talks about the way we do things around here. Okay, Jason Garrett. Well, okay, I can understand if you were the New England Patriots and you go to the Super Bowl every other year and win. Okay, but as far as your tenure, what you do has not led to that much success in the postseason. And so they're so rigid on everything. It was like Rico Gathers. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You look at Rico Gathers as a tight end. I know he was a basketball player. You looked at how fluid he was running before he put on weight. Oh, you've got to be able to be a blocker. Okay, listen. The guy is 6'8", He can jump out of the building. He had hands. You know what? If I can only use him 10 times, and here's your assignment. Run to the pylon, in the corner, and when Dak throws the ball, just jump up, grab it, and come back down. Okay? All right? Instead of saying, oh, no, we're going to go ahead. You got to put on weight. You got to become a blocker. No. See, Bill Belichick will take a guy, and this is the thing that's different about them. That's why you don't see a lot of Pro Bowl players, is it's not just about the 11 guys on offense and defense. He's using that guy who's the 35th player on the team. It may only be for 5 plays, but there's 5 plays that I'm going to have him that I'm going to get an advantage and find out how I can use that person to help me win a game. And we're so rigid that we're going to run the ball just down the throat, just like this, and as a tight end, you've got to be a blocker. You know what we need? We need a red zone threat. Thank you. That guy who's 6'8" and can jump.
I don't want to hear no
Hey, because you know what the NFL's done? You know what the NFL's done? The NFL has basically showed, because this is what it is, right? Most teams cannot afford, nor will they even attempt to afford, to put together an elite offensive line. That's not what most teams are doing. Why? Right. Because it's a unit. So, you got to invest in 3 out of the 5 position to consider having an elite unit. You have to have 3 of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in the Dallas Cowboys, we've paid for that offensive line, right? But the thing that sucks now in today's NFL is the NFL and these defenses are showing you that, even with a pretty damn good defensive line, we can shut your run game down. You know what I'm saying? And Washington is a prime example. You know what I'm saying? Washington is an example of, teams understanding what their strength is and what you're trying to do and basically changing their whole damn franchise around it.
Right, exactly. And that's
because their whole franchise is derived about beating us.
Yeah. Well, West Coast, to your point, if you utilize, and to your point also, Mark, if you utilize Rico Gathers appropriately, you would not even want Jason Witten back. Okay? Because you would have such a viable threat in the red zone and down the hashes of the football field that it would be absurd, right? Yeah. So Scott Linehan, I'm not going to say Scott Linehan, okay, because I don't want to proselyte this conversation to him, but I want to say people with the mentality of a Scott Linehan are why Rico Gathers don't play, right? Why he doesn't get a good look, and also why good free agents, right? Good free agent pickups, right? They get cut. And bad draft picks get kept. People with that mentality that is the reason why things like this happen.
And say that again. Say that again, bro. Because that good.
Somebody just pooted in my studio, man. Hey, you gotta say that again. Somebody just pooted in my studio, man. He just said some shit. Somebody just pooted in my studio room, man.
Bro, is good. Free agents get cut while you protecting bad draft picks. Perfect example. I don't care what nobody says. It's Schultz versus Rico.
Go ahead,
no doubt in my mind, bro. It is no doubt. Schultz got way too many reps to only have 100 yards for the year. Way too many reps. They gave him. They laid it out on a platter from a guy. But every time they put Rico out there, it was like he was begging for snaps and begging for an opportunity. And even when he didn't get a lot of opportunities from preseason, even while he was in the game, he made something happen. So I'm like you, Charles. I don't want to hear about all these details and you, Mark Holmes, about, this guy needs to do this and do that. Does he make plays?
Yeah.
And I don't care what nobody says. When you turn on the film.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? You know what I love about Rico Gathers and why I know why Rico Gathers is always going to kind of he's just going to have to keep on fighting. Hopefully, Kellen Moore likes him. If Kellen Moore likes him, then he's going to use him regardless. But you know what? Rico Gathers, and this is what we kind of talked on yesterday, rich, really, really, really rich, old people, I'm not rich at all, and I don't like admitting when I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, I can only imagine someone who makes decisions on a worldwide basis, and they're like, yes, we are going to have a guy that's just going to run to the back of the end zone and jump straight up. Guess who that guy is? We had the best at that. Wait, time out! Wait, hey! Say, man!
50-50.
Say, man!
That shit failed, man. No, I don't want the drama.
I'm just saying. Because you made a video. You thought I was going to let you slide, huh? You see, West Coast, we chill. We plot. I've been plotting on you for a little bit. I said, I ain't going to trip. My wife said, what you going to do, West Coast? I said, I'm going to do him real smooth. Like, don't trip. I got you. So I'm just saying, man, you just told me right now that Dez Bryant could be on this team, man.
No.
Hey, Charles, that's not.
I'm sorry. There's too much under. No, I'm sorry. That ship failed, man.
That ship is sailed, but I'm just saying, why can't it come back around if he cheat? You told me right now you wouldn't take Dez Bryant over Jason Witten for $2 million.
Nope.
What?
Well, the Cowboys wouldn't do it, Mark.
I know the Cowboys wouldn't do it.
The Cowboys wouldn't do it, Mark.
Sorry, you can't do it.
Yeah, we know this is hypothetical. This is very hypothetical.
We all know Steven is not going to go against himself. We know he's not.
I want to see a fight. So
because hold on, let me jump in this. The Cowboys wouldn't do it because Jason Witten is their pet puppy dog, and they sign him, although he runs a 5.4 40 right now. You know what I'm saying? He runs a 5.4 40-yard dash. He got great hands, right? But here's the whole deal about this situation, and this is back to your point too, Mark, about Rico Gathers. There's an underlining relational discrepancy with management, with coaches, that cause players not to get opportunities when they should. And if you don't have the soft skills and the people skills to play that game, or AKA brown nose, AKA kiss somebody's behind, right? You will not get on that field. You will be sitting there on the sideline holding your helmet while people that are far less superior athletes get targeted 50 times in a season.
Yeah.
Okay. So if hypothetically you're saying Dez over Witten, so is Dez playing tight end?
No, but this is my thing. But this is my thing. We had a game last year where we didn't even we had 3 games where tight ends didn't even catch a pass. We also had 1 game where Dak didn't even target the tight end. Do you guys know that we won the game? We won the game. So in my opinion, why do I need a $2 million tight end? I don't need no $2 million tight end, and I'm gonna keep it real. If my run game, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now,
no, because that's the outlet. See, here in my mind, this is the perfect situation for the Dallas Cowboys. 12 personnel. Okay.
Oh my God! Nobody want to run no damn 12 personnel. Oh, they want to run that book? Come on, man! 2019. Hey, Mark, you just showed your age. That's why we call you OG.
No, hold up. Just listen to me for a second. Okay. Let me first now, because here's what you do. Okay, you got Blake Jarwin who can now catch, right?
He can catch.
Okay, you got Jason Witten who can catch now, right?
Yeah.
You get Amari Cooper on one side.
Yeah, no doubt.
You get Randall Cobb on the other side.
Okay.
All right. You take the training wheels off of Dak Prescott. You're the defense coordinator. What are you doing? Are you putting 8 men in the box because it's a running formation?
It'll be easy to do it with 12.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're putting that safety in there. And you know what I'm doing? I'm doing go routes with Amari Cooper and Randall Cobb.
And they can match it up. This is why I want to just kind of push back on you just a little bit, Mark, just a little bit. You know, I got major respect for you, but I'm going to push you on this one, okay? I think 11 is better because just like the Rams said it publicly that we stayed in the base defense.
Yep, sure did. They made a video about it, actually.
Nickel in the game. So when you don't have a nickel in the game and you go with 11, which is, and I want to explain that to the audience because we're talking kind of technical, I want to explain it. 11 means that you have 1 tight end, 1 running back, and 3 receivers.
Yeah, exactly.
So base defense.
And what is 12? And say what is 12 so they know it's 12.
12 means 2 tight ends and 1 running back. I just want to explain that so that when they see us kind of chess matching this discussion, they know what we're talking about. So when you think about it from a scheme standpoint, is that yes, you do have Cooper. Yes, you do have, let's say, Gallup or Cobb, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have a base defense, that means a linebacker is going to be going against who?
Well, your linebacker is going to be going against a tight end, but he should be in 11. He's going to be going to wide receiver, and he's going to be a wide receiver.
Yeah, he's going to be going against a receiver.
He's going to be on a wide receiver. It's going to be a mismatch.
We used to call that an athlete on the stiff. We wanted that all day long.
Right.
So a linebacker going against a Cole Beasley, that's your automatic matchup right there. You taking it every time because you know he doesn't have the hip for the quickness to keep up. So I don't like 12. I actually hate 12.
Me too.
And then
Let's see, here's where it evolves. Okay, now let me go back to my original premise. Because here's where it evolves. Because to me, more times than not, Dak took sacks because he was looking for that outlet guy. I know Jason Witten is not going to be a Gronk right now. But if we end up being able to say, you know what, the shit is breaking down, I can dump it to him and get 7-8 yards as opposed to a sack, then that changes the narrative. In that same formation, because Witten is a catching threat, Rico was not a catching threat, okay? You can end up, and now that we have some speed on the outside, you can take that same formation and it can still be a passing formation where before it was they're running the football, put the safety in the box, and that's that. Now what it's going to be able to do, having that guy who can be the outlet, is it now kind of leaves a little bit of mystery in. Yeah, it's probably going to be a run, but if it's not, they can also throw at it.
And Mark, let me jump in here because Mark, I actually like your thinking in terms of the 12 personnel. I don't agree with the personnel you pick. Jarwin, yes. Witten, no. And I think that with the appropriate reps, I think Rico is a catching threat. Actually, if you look at some old practice film, he caught the football pretty well. Okay, he's faster. He's
put that weight on.
Yeah, he's faster, he's bigger, he's stronger, okay? He can drop 20 pounds because he's not a natural 290-pound dude, okay? He's a natural 260-pound dude if they just let him be himself, right? Now, if you want to look at 12 personnel, who used 12 personnel masterfully? And let's go back.
The Patriots.
Patriots did when they had Aaron Hernandez and they had Gronkowski. They lined up the 12 personnel and they just shredded you to pieces straight down the seams with no speed on the outside. Now, with the Cowboys,
real quick, Charles, but also explain the fact that that was the real matchup because you had stiff linebackers going against athletic tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
It made sense for them, 12 with us, Jarwin and old man Witten.
Well, listen, Marcus, boss, listen, it's all about how you use the 12 personnel, which is where exactly I was going. With the Patriots, what they did is they lined up their best receiver tight to the line of scrimmage. So he was a slot. So you got to pick your poison. You got a quick slot against a stiff or slower safety, and then you got an athletic tight end going against a linebacker, right? That's what you got. So if the Cowboys use 12 personnel appropriately, it can be a great win for them, but I would not use it until you got plus 30. When you got on the plus 30, when you're going 30 yards and in, yes, it's a perfect time to use it. Now, if you get 10 yards and in, yeah, go ahead and bring in Witten, throw him a little quick out route, or let him run a quick fade route. If it's a short or slow, well, it doesn't even matter. If it's a short DB, I'd say. But other than that, I wouldn't even use Witten that much in that personnel.
I'm going to ask you guys a question, right? What is the stronger room, the wide receiver room or the tight end room?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. So if I'm a team who had problems scoring, I need to find a way to get the room that's the strongest on the field. So that's why I think I'm all for 12 personnel inside the red zone. You know what I'm saying? You know, honestly, I don't even know then. The reason being is because it's gonna really determine
what you said. The athletes are in the receiver room.
Yeah, and it really depends on who I'm playing because if I'm playing a team, if I'm playing a team that got hold up real quick. If I'm playing a team that has any way of a versatile linebacker, I'm cool on 12. I'm cool. Why? Because I need something that's gonna supersede him. And a tight end on a really good linebacker, bruh, I'm giving it to the linebacker because I don't think that our tight ends right now can. You know, who do we play week 1? Giants.
Yeah, Giants.
I gotta see that thing. Ruben Foster was supposed to be week 2. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous about that. But I'm just saying, it really
locked up our tight ends.
Yeah, it really I think our tight ends, as much as I want to give faith in Rico, I think I would still feel more safe with Rico out there with the 11. Why? Because for Dak's sake, I'm thinking do I think that 3 really fast wide receivers can get open, or do I think that 2 tight ends can get open faster for Dak? I think that the wide receivers are going to have a better chance of getting open for Dak Prescott. Honestly, 12 personnel, I don't think they should be running 12 personnel, in my opinion, with Dak, unless he's probably keeping the ball. Because our quarterback is about getting the ball to the weapons as quickly as possible. Well, my fourth receiver is better probably, and I'm gonna throw this out there right now. The fourth wide receiver on this team is better than the number one tight end on this team, and that's a fact.
That's a fact.
Allen Hurns is the best, is the fourth receiver on this team, and I would say that he's better than any tight end. Well, you got to think about this. When you put a team out there, it's going to be matchups. They're not, that linebacker's not going to think about, they got a tight end. They're going to think about, no, that's Allen Hurns. Oh yeah, oh damn, hold up, we got to switch. Hey, we got to switch something up. Now, if they go out there and it's Jason Witten,
Hurns go against the fourth corner. Then Witten going against sometimes. It's not all the time, because you said it perfect. It depends on the linebacker. Like, because I watched really close on the All-22, the Atlanta game from 2017. And it wasn't just the sacks. It was also Jones was locking down Witten with ease, and they kept him in the game.
Hey, and that happened in that Green Bay game too, Joe Thomas.
Why didn't they just say, okay, look, Witten is losing that matchup. Let's try Switzer versus their dime package and see if that works better. No, we just stayed with Witten the whole time and gave him all those reps, even though he was losing. Because like we said yesterday, linebackers are not bulky anymore. They actually draft them to between us. Most of them are ex-safeties. LVE was an ex-what? Safety. So he's more prone to be able to cover. And that's because Gronk and Witten and all these other tight ends ate up the league for years. You don't think they go adapt? We living in a time of adaptation, but we acting like we don't need to adapt back.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is just like my thing is this, right? We about to pay Dak $30 million, so I don't give a damn what we think. It's about what you think, Dak. What you think is better. Like you know what I'm saying? The highest paid man, he's the one in charge. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is in every business. You know what I'm saying? Dak, you the highest paid. Go ahead.
Can I push back on you, Boss Cowboy on West Coast, just a little bit?
I love it. Please do.
All right, if the tight end is not effective, right? Mm-hmm. Let me ask both of you a question. You guys can take your time and answer this question. What made Jarwin so effective versus the Giants? And I have the answer if you don't, but I'll give you a chance at it first. What made him so effective versus the Giants on the plays he made down the field?
Well, I think. Go ahead. You want to go or you want me?
Oh, you can go.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. On 2 of the touchdowns, it was just Blake Jarwin working back to the football. Like Blake Jarwin made some good football moves as far as no understanding where Dak was, because Dak was outside of the pocket on 2 of the touchdowns. He was outside of the pocket when he threw the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And Blake Jarwin just did a really good job of working himself back to Dak, and then the one boy missed the tackle and he just ran in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? So, I think one thing that Blake Jarwin did better than any other tight end is he was kind of expecting the ball. Like, he went into a game expecting to get the ball. But people be like, how can NFL players drop the ball? How can Dez Bryant drop the ball? I'm going to tell you why. When you're sitting on the X over there all day and he ain't threw the ball to you. You know what I'm saying? Then when you finally get action, it doesn't formulate the way you want it to. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, and I think that's what happened with the tight ends, and that's why they didn't shine when they should have. But Jarwin on those 2 of them, I know he just did a really good job of working himself back to Dak Prescott, and Dak found him. One of them wasn't supposed to be a touchdown because the goddamn safety. Make the tackle. I'm happy he didn't make the tackle, but he didn't I don't know. He just caught the ball, he spun, and he went in his zone.
Hey guys, I hate to end the party, but I got to run, man.
Oh man, you just gotta stop eating them beans. That's what it is, man. And I'm gonna tell you, after you hit 30, OG, you can't drink milk like that either, though. So.
No, it's not that, man. I'm on a keto diet. I miss them damn beans, man. Beans, sugar, carbohydrates, potatoes, all of the above. So I wish it had been some beans. Shoot, I'd like a good old bean thing to just clean me out. But then again.
But let them know where they can find you at, OG. Let them know where they can find you at.
Of course, Cowboy Joe Boo. Of course, Mark Holmes, Joe Boo Sports Report on YouTube and on Facebook, Joe Boo Sports Report. But pretty much anywhere you go, you'll find me someplace. Just look for Eagle fans just giving somebody some shit. That'll be me.
Hey, you already know
Really
what
go
it is.
check out that article. I really believe in it. Please do. And if you believe in it, say something about it. If you don't, just spit on it.
And that's at www.bosscowboy.com.
That's right.
That's
So
right.
the first one
All
that
right.
popped up.
And everybody who's watching on my channel, be sure to check out all of these guys, Dallas Cowboy Scouting, also on Facebook as well as YouTube. So, guys, thank you very much for letting me join in, and I will see you guys soon.
All right, you be blessed.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
I loved it, Mark. I want to answer that question for Charles. From what I saw in that game, I really honestly feel like Jarwin caught the New York Giants defense slipping because there was no tape of him beating zones the way that he did. So you know this, Charles, that basically we're going to prepare mostly when we're trying to study opponents in 3-game increments. There was no 3 games that really showed the danger of Jarwin when he was able to find those pockets in the zone. So if they were studying Jarwin, it was nothing that gave indications that he would ever do that because our main weapons at the time, obviously, leading up to that game was who? Cooper.
Yeah.
Then obviously it was Cole.
Yeah. Oh, I got a
right?
question for you, boss. Go ahead.
Okay. So what really to me happened more so because he wasn't in man coverage on those touchdowns. Those are zone coverages. And then those zone coverages, it honestly was basically, I would call it genius by doing your job. Or basically sometimes the simplicity is the smartest thing.
Or just doing the obvious.
He was doing the obvious. He found the open pockets in the zone, and Dak found him, and they took advantage of a defense that wasn't prepared. Now, weeks after that, everybody else would have been looking for that because they really stung the Giants. So I think it was the element of surprise that got the Giants more so. It wasn't like superior athleticism because Jarwin wasn't winning those matchups one-on-one. He was winning because he was finding open zones, and Dak was finding him.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, with that assessment, Boston, I would assume that you're under the impression that if any tight end, no matter who would have been in that position, would have probably had that same result.
Exactly, and I do give Jarwin credit.
I do too, but I'm under the same impression.
For doing the little thing, because sometimes the little thing is the great thing, right? It's so many times tight ends, and I watch Schultz do this. I will watch him actually run to defenders when you know they're in zone versus when you watch Witten. What does he always do?
Run to the open space.
He find the open spots, and he's instinctive at doing it. It was like Jarwin learned it late. And it was one play I loved. Jarwin was actually out there running around, and he was basically like looking at Dak like, what you want me to do? And Dak signaled to him, go there, because Dak was like, I can see the open zone. And he actually did it, and that's when he gave it to him. So I thought that game was hot for Jarwin more so because they was learning together how to be more in sync. And I think that was the game it all accumulated. That's my analysis on what happened in the Giants game, Charles, with
and I will say great answer on both you guys. Yes, I believe he caught him slipping, although he did beat the safety on that first touchdown up the seam. Okay, and my whole point about the 12 personnel, just to conclude on this point, is that if you got an athletic tight end or a couple athletic tight ends, it doesn't matter if they get open. Okay, hear this point. It doesn't matter if they get open. It matters that the defense, to your point, Boss Cowboy, honored that tight end. And that opens up a myriad of offensive options on the other side of the field and also underneath in the flats with Zeke and with Amari Cooper and also Randall Cobb this year.
That's my point.
They're going to get open sometime, though. So that's my last little point on that.
Hey, but the only thing about it is, the only question to that is, can you do it next week? Because that's when, yes, like I would have liked it to see, now that the film is out, could Jarwin have done it next week? You know what I'm saying? Because exactly, because that's what really determines if you are a guy who can be in this league is like once they get film on you, can you do it again?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even Tony Romo said that, like,
for Witten is he could do it the next week.
Exactly, regardless of what the film said.
That open zone, I don't care. Every time it's a zone, Witten is a quarterback. I don't care what nobody say in terms of being able to read a defense within 1 second. As soon as he see the drops, he know what's going on. Immediately, he's very instinctive at it at this point. He's super smart. So yeah, I agree with you, West Coast. But the only thing is now you could see the growth happening in Jarwin and what's going to happen to his growth because of it.
Well, my thing is this. I would hope that his growth would spawn some type of the big C word. Y'all know how much we love the C word here. Competition. Competition is the game. Keep in rhythm. I don't know the rest of the song, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That brings the big word in competition. Well, say, bro, you've been counted out your entire life. Are you going to allow this 32-year-old man with a toupee allow you to get bumped out the NFL? Competition. Let's just be real, tight ends. If you don't make a tight end as a Dallas Cowboy tight end, you probably won't be playing in the NFL. Why? Because have you seen stats from the last tight ends from the Dallas Cowboys? Competition. Competition is the name of the game, man. What you talking about? Everything that his mama put in him better come out.
West Coast, I'm still a believer in this.
But you get what I mean? Yeah, I mean, everything that his mama put in him better come out.
I'm going to echo what you're saying, which I hope it get coined here a little bit better. Win the crowd, win your freedom.
Win the crowd, win your freedom. Win the crowd.
Yeah, it's up to Jarwin. So when Jarwin, Rico, whoever Schultz, I'm going to even, hope for Schultz.
Yeah, man. Hey.
Out there, you ain't going to sit Witten down unless you make him sit down. You have to make more plays. Like, we got a friend, Jabari and Charles and now the consultant and now the coach. His name was GT. He was the 4th string tight end. He was a good brother of mine, playing for U of H. And we had this talk with him privately. We say, bro, they don't want you to play. You coming from DN to tight end, they don't want you to play. I said, so the only way you go ball is the first time you get your opportunity, you got to wreck it, brother. He did, make a long story short. You know what I mean? And that's what Jarwin going to have to do. And that's what Schultz going to have to do, or that's what Rico going to have to do. When you get your chance, you make it obvious.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I hope my offense has changed so much that it didn't really even matter, man, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, and shout out to the 25 people that's watching on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, if the Dallas Cowboys offense is going in saying that their tight ends have to be a focal point of their offense, bro, we are in some trouble.
I'm crying real true.
We are in some trouble. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you look at the importance of what they put, think about this. Before going to go get a new tight end, one that's all shiny, they went and paid $2 million for an older tight end. So that lets me know that you cannot prioritize them. If you didn't prioritize them in personnel, you can't prioritize them in play. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. Like, that's not 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I'm saying? How they prioritize the tight end this season lets me know that the tight end should be used occasionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm expecting my tight ends to have 2 or 3 catches, 2 or 3 targets a game. Why? Because Amari Cooper, bro, what are you talking about? None of my tight ends. I think Rico is pretty good. I think he's great around in the end zone, but bro, why? I don't need no tight end on the 40. The hell you mean? Go sit down somewhere, get a clipboard, and teach someone something. I don't need no tight end. I need wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? We need points, man. We need points. We need points. And if it's about being Dak friendly, I need him to more opportunities to look better. And what's that going to make him look better? Give him more fast weapons. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to do that. But, hey, man, before we get up out of here, man, hey, we've had a ridiculous show. We've been on here for almost 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Shout out to my boy YL. Man, we're about to turn up tonight for his birthday, and then I got to get up and do a whole bunch of other stuff tomorrow. So y'all pray for your boy. But, yo, Boss Cowboy, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, man, go to my page, man. That's where you go see a lot of information. I don't post a lot, but I post quality. So when you see it on my page, it's worth it. So it's on the Boss Cowboy Sports on Facebook. And then, obviously, I want y'all to visit my site because that's where you're going to get all my latest articles. Some of them you got to go back and review. And that's also www.bosscowboy.com because, obviously, I believe that your voice matters. And if you don't make your voice heard, who go hear you?
Absolutely. Hey, real quick, shout out to Philly 76. Shout out to Miss Julie. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Miss Cameron. Shout out to E. Kush, man. Shout out to everybody. Say, Charles, at some point of us doing this blogging, I'm going to ask you, so, man, where can they find you at? And you're going to be like, they can find me at such and such and such and that. But until then, Charles, let them know who you are and let them know they can find you at.
Yeah, so Charles Beaufort, guys, I'm working on something. So the next time I come on the show, I will have something for you guys to follow. So sorry about that, but just look me up on Facebook messages. It's Charles Beaufort. You can friend me. I'll friend you back, or you can just look me up on Messenger. We can talk that way right now.
Yeah, y'all know Charles is new. He giving his whole name on the Facebook. That's what's up, though. Hey, y'all be nice. He don't know this. Some of y'all crazy. But it's all. We love you anyway. But, hey, man, y'all already know what it is. I am West Coast, man. Shoot, we got your favorite Cowboys on here, man. It was a hell of a show tonight, man. We had 34 people jumping off right now. We got 20 people on YouTube. That's damn near 50 Cowboy fans watching Dallas Cowboy Talk on May 23rd. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, if someone tells you that you ain't no real Cowboy fan and you don't be riding for your fan, go ahead and take the 6 games. And, you know what I'm saying? Take the 6 games because they playing you, man. They playing you. You know what I'm saying? If you own right now watching May 23rd and you trying to find out what's going on with your team, you a real goddamn.
Do that one more time before you close.
I'm just saying, man. Take your 6. Hey, because you seen the video, you ain't even got to punch nobody now. I'm gonna be Zeke and you be the security guard. I'm gonna hold on. Let me put the camera up. I'm gonna bump one of y'all. One of y'all do the flop. What? Boo! I'm gonna push you. Like you ain't even gonna hit nobody now. You know what I'm saying? It's craziness, sheer craziness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey man, I appreciate everybody. Remember, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that become a supporter button on Facebook and make sure you guys support the movement. Tomorrow's Friday, so I don't know if we'll be on, but if we do, that means I ain't making too much money because Friday's the day I'm supposed to be making money. Yeah, look at all of us like, yeah, we on the show tomorrow. That means. Hey, if I call Bob Cowboy, he like,
on break, yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Bob Cowboy, like if I'm free to do a show on Friday, that means I ain't making no money. I'm the same way, bro. I'm the exact same way. I got lined
up tomorrow, so I'm collected.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm tied up all day, and I hope nothing crazy happens that makes me have to do a show tomorrow too. So, but either way, man, we will see you guys at some point this weekend, man. You already know what it is, man. Never look down because of stars.